Stop telling that story. I'm Brian Withers, empowerment coach, trainer, and author. Well, when we want our life to change, but our life is not changing or hasn't changed yet, there's one of two things going on. Either we're looking at our life as we're living it, and we see things, we're observing things about our life that we don't like, some area of our life. Could be health, could be money, could be relationships, anything. And when we look at it, we're telling the train wreck version of it. In other words, we're talking about it in the way that we don't like it. It's there and it's manifested. It's a manifestation of our energy. We came together with it because it's a match to our vibration. And then we talk about it in a way that doesn't feel good, that it's in some way bad or unfair or unpleasant or any of that stuff. And when we do that, of course, we just offer the same energy, and then it's the same manifestation, and we talk about it, we tell that story, and then it stays the same. So the other thing that could be happening if your life is not changing is you actually could be on the way to the change. Now, if you have been looking at that situation and you have shifted the way you're looking at it so you see positive aspects and you know it's contrast, that means your life is expanded and the new version is on the way to you, then you're in the process of changing the momentum, and if you stick with it, then the manifestation that you want is going to come. So you want to tell the story so that you include the creative process perspective. That is that, the situation itself is contrast, and now that means the preferred experience is on its way to you. So you tell that story. You tell the story of how, much fun it feels like to think about that story, and you can see yourself in that story, and you're looking forward to that story, and it's such a joy on the way to that story. You're going to have fun on your way to that story. See, this all ramps up the anticipation and the expectation. And of course, it's there because the creative process tells us it's there. So we know it's on the way, and we can feel that unconditional joy for it. We don't need the condition. We don't need to have the condition in our five senses for us to emotionally enjoy it. So that's one of the beautiful things we want to learn is that we have vibrational reality as part of our total reality, and we can feel it emotionally as real as the things that have manifested in our life. So you could be one of two things, just to say that again, is if your life isn't changing, then you're either looking at it the way you don't like it and you're telling it the way it is, and it's going to remanifest in that same way. So we want to stop telling that story. If we've started to tell a new story that includes natural contrast and vibrational reality, and it's all on the way to us, and we're focused positively on that situation, now we're in the process of releasing resistance around that situation, and our vibration starts to rise. And as that newer momentum becomes dominant over what the old momentum was that caused the manifestation, then we start to see the trending. That's stages 5, 6, and 7 of the 7 stages of manifestation change, as we're in the process of changing our thoughts, the way we think about a thing, telling a new story, tell the experience that we want to tell, that we want to have. Now that can seem odd at first because we've been trained to tell it the way that it is, and people will say, "Well, it's true. Look at it. It's there. There it is. It's true." And it may be true in the sense that yes, it's there as a manifestation, but it's not the way it has to be. It's only there because that's the way you believed it to be, and you have beliefs that support it, so it's there. So as you take on a new story that you want to be living in place of the current story, you can talk about any story you want. The law of attraction really doesn't care what you're talking about, and your inner being knows you have the new story. So it really is quite easy to start changing your mind and the way you think about things. And that's going to be really helpful to you to get in the energy of the thing that you want so that it can flow into your life. And then in my video called Happy New Life, I talk about the storybook. That's a very, very powerful tool to train your mind into positive feeling thoughts on everything, because no matter what topic it is of your life, if you use that storybook the way that I describe it, you're going to have a positive response to absolutely everything in your life. And that's where you want to be. And as you train yourself in that direction, it'll become fluent and automatic after a while, and you won't have to consult a storybook. But in this training, learning, developing, and reconnecting with our natural high vibration mindset, it's a very, very powerful tool to help you with that. So let's look at this a little further. So, if you're telling a story about people in your life, if it's a good story, tell it. Keep telling it, because that will be the energy that keeps bringing it the way that it is. But if you're telling a story about somebody or a group of people in your life, and it produces negative emotion, well, that's our out of alignment thought indicator. And if we're telling that story about a group of people or somebody specific in our life that we don't like, then the law of attraction is going to keep us hooked up with them in that situation. It's the same thing about your health. Are you experiencing currently some kind of ailment and talking about it? Is that the story you're telling? Oh, I've got this and I've had it for so long, and the doctor's not quite sure what to do about it, and it feels like this, and you got a whole story going, and that's a whole vibrational thing that just is going to keep you right in that same place. But if you tell a different story, like, oh, this ailment, it's just the manifestation, or it's just, let's say that different. It's me blocking my energy. I'm thinking thoughts about something in my life that I didn't like, and I did it long enough that it interfered with the high vibration frequency of my body, because I just kept pouring that low vibration in. So it's just a temporary condition. There's no big deal going on here. I'll just clean up that area of my life, and my body will take care of itself and get it back into order. And I'm really looking forward to that, and that's an exciting thing to think about. See, it's an entirely different story. The first story is going to keep you in the ailment. The second story is going to pull you back into your natural, healthy body. And I mean from anything. What story are you telling about your house? You want to have a different house, and you're telling a story about your current house, and you're saying all kinds of things about it that are unfavorable. And so you're basically saying to the law of attraction, I do want a house, but I've decided I'm going to offer the energy that keeps me in this house. See, it doesn't make sense. Why would we do that? So the only reason we do that, and we do that, is because we haven't been understanding how our thoughts are the very thing that determines what is manifesting next. Is it going to be the same thing or a different thing? And what we can know that because if we're telling the same old story that of something that we don't like, then guaranteed that's the next manifestation. It's going to be manifesting all over again. But if we tell a different story about it, put ourselves in a different mind frame about it, have all positive emotion about it through positive aspects of what it is, and the feeling of joy of the improved experience on the way, now we're telling a different story. And as we keep doing that, we gradually switch away the momentum from the existing manifestation. Because there's energy behind that manifestation within us. And as we change that, then the manifestation begins to change. So we want to get this new high vibration storybook going, and every topic in your life, anywhere that your life isn't where you want it to be, make sure that you use this tool. It's fantastic because if you use it, there is never a reason to spend any length of time in a thought that doesn't feel good, because your book will have a page in it and you will have spent time in the quiet of your mind when things are easy, and you would have filled it in with the positive aspects, what you want, why you want it, what your favorite parts of something are. It's all a very positively expressed page for that topic of your life. And once you do that, that's 100% emotional satisfaction. Now, the contrast that is in your life now, that unwanted situation, it can be replaced because you will receive the path that brings the preferred manifestation into place to replace that one. So this is very important that we are aware of the stories that we're telling about anything we do in our day and our life. And if you got a story going on and there's negative emotion, you have got to change that story. You got to stop telling the old story and you got to start telling the new story. And if you do, you'll get a new story. You'll get a new physical manifestation, which will be that story. So that's the message for today. Take notice how you're talking about different aspects of your life. And if it doesn't feel good, stop telling that story. Look at your words, change your perspective, change your focus, and get a new story going, even in the face of that existing manifestation of that aspect of your life. You have got to get yourself to a 100% emotional satisfaction about it, right? I'm not saying pretend or make yourself think good thoughts about it in terms of making yourself like it 100%. It's okay. You cannot like it 100%. It could be 40%, but you must apply a 100% emotional satisfaction. At the same time, there's a 40%, say, physical experience satisfaction. That's the only way it's going to change. So stop telling those old stories if they're not what you want. I mean, if they are, keep telling them. But stop telling the stories where there's a negative emotion present, because that's the very thing that's continuing to keep the manifestation the same. And we want to change it. So we need a new story. Okay, that's the message for today. Thanks for listening in. If you have any comments, leave them on the post, and enjoy your day.